What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris Mann. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Sunday, April 12th, 2026. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's coming on with me today, as she is a journalist featured out of Florida. She is working for Florida's oldest weekly newspaper over there at the News Leader down there in the Sunshine State of Florida. Her name is Marisa Demar, and we're going to talk to her about her why of coming on as a journalist into the journalism industry, but we're also going to ask her some get-to-know-you questions. So without any further ado, I introduce you, the wonderful, the talented, and the beautiful Marisa. Welcome to the podcast.
Wow, that's such a welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it. I'm excited to have you on here and excited to get to know your story. And listen, my first question to you is the same as it always is with everybody that hops on this podcast. And it's pretty simple. What is your why? Why did you get into this industry? Did you have any role models or any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why for wanting to be a journalist?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I grew up kind of traveling. My dad had a job that moved us every few years, and I actually went to high school for a bit in Hong Kong. And then I kind of found myself writing as comfort when I was in new places, so I was always writing. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in the future, but writing was always there. So when it came time to go to college, I went to London and I studied journalism because it just seemed like the perfect path, you know? And from there, I just fell in love with it, really. Like, getting to write for a full-time job is something that I never really thought would be possible
Right.
either. But yeah, it's always just been a form of escape for me and, a creative outlet, no matter what kind of writing it was. And my, I would say like my final year of college, I started a blog, and I never really had published my writing before or put it out there for anyone, so it was really scary at first.
Sure.
And yeah, from there, I just realized like I can do this, I can make this happen as a career. Yeah, and I love the way that it's a creative job, but also the way that it impacts people, So that kind of keeps me going.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Some of the main reasons that you brought up or advocated about is why I wanted to become a journalist as well. Obviously, we do two different genres, but journalism is journalism. I love that. And I love the fact that how, for me, being able to talk to somebody different, being able to write different stories or have different outcomes, because I do sports, never know what sports is going to be like on a day-to-day basis. Every game is different. And I love that aspect of it as well. You talked about growing up and moving around. You talked about Hong Kong being a place. You also talked about going to London. You went to the University of Amsterdam. Now, I definitely am intrigued by that because you rarely get to meet journalists that are, in the U.S. or working in the U.S. that typically go to school outside of the U.S. and then come back to the U.S. and do their thing. So
Yeah.
tell me, was Amsterdam always something that you really wanted to go to, or did you have any other schools that could have persuaded you from going there? And if so, what were those schools?
Yeah, I would say when I was looking at colleges, I graduated high school in Virginia,
Okay.
and I was looking for a way that I could travel more.
Okay.
So I looked at schools in London because I knew there wouldn't be any sort of language barrier. And I was just so set on leaving the country. I did look into, some California schools, and I thought about it briefly, but my heart was set on traveling more. And I knew, like, once you're in Europe, it's very easy to go to other countries and, yeah, travel around the world. So I went to London, and then I found myself on a trip to Amsterdam, and I just fell in love with it. And I looked into the school system there and if it would be possible for me to transfer or go there. And yeah, I just packed it up and moved there, and it was incredible. I loved every minute of being there. And yeah, I miss my family a lot, though. That was the thing. So they're down in Florida, and I knew after college, because I was gone for about 5 years.
Right.
Um, So after college, I was like, I think it's time for me to move back. And, journalism is one of those careers where you can travel, and I'm hoping that I can still make that a big part of my life. Once I set the foundation, then I want to be traveling more because that's kind of, I think, my end goal is to be writing about places I see or people I meet in foreign countries. Because I think it's really cool to learn about different cultures and
For
languages,
sure.
anything. Yeah.
I love that. Now, that was kind of my bonus question coming up, Marissa, was, well, some of the things that you write about, you wrote about different things, right? You wrote about culture, you wrote about food stuff. I want to know what inspires you to want to write about different type of things. Like, is it just like cultural events or current events, or is it entertainment that you write about? Would we ever see a sports article out of you? Would we ever see you write about politics? Like, is there no genre that you're willing to not touch?
I would say I'm a little bit iffy on doing politics because a lot of like what I talked about with my why is making a positive impact. And I try to take the stories that I know are going to make someone smile, whether that's the small business that I interviewed or if it's just a fun, silly piece about things to do in XYZ, So I am open to trying everything, and that's the beauty of the job that I have currently is that it's really enabled me to try every single outlet. So
Sure.
I've done sport.
Okay.
I've Yeah, I've tried sports. I went to a few NFL games and I got to go in the press box there, which was absolutely
No
incredible.
doubt.
But and like the feeling is amazing. I just think that I don't have enough knowledge of sports to want to pursue that more.
Hmm.
But it's definitely such a cool experience. And that's how I've kind of felt about everything I've gotten to try through my work, whether that's local government or, whatever it is. Like, it's just so cool to be able to say that I've done all those different topics, especially as my first job out of college, because I know a lot of people, they are kind of stuck in one specific sector. But I think trying different things has really made me realize where I want to be. And that's more, lifestyle content and entertainment, that sort of thing.
I love that. Well, listen, you definitely got a new friend here. Anytime you want to know about sports, I am your man. No question about that. I could definitely give you the 411. I do have another couple bonus questions before I get to some favorite questions. And the couple questions that I have is one, I've never heard of Fernandina Beach, if I'm saying it right. I've never heard of that. Where exactly is that at?
So we're like right on the border of Florida and Georgia, and it's kind of a hidden gem. That's the beauty of it. It's like a small town,
Mhm.
but it's just so gorgeous. You have beaches, you have such a great sense of community, and that's another reason I was pretty much drawn there is because everyone there, they've been like nothing but supportive. I've been able to make friends with the community, and working in journalism, writing stories about these people, you build those bonds, and that's something I never really felt like I had when I was traveling constantly.
Sure.
So it's super cool to see that now I go to the grocery store and I recognize people, or I feel like I just have people in my circle, and that's such a great feeling.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Now, my next bonus question was about you. You say you went to some games. What is the closest big city that's next to you where you're living at?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, got you. So obviously, I went to school out in Georgia. No question about it. Now, I went to school at Kennesaw State University, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. I still have family there. I actually just went there for the spring break, because I'm also a sub teacher. So we had spring break, and I went out there visiting my family, my mom and them, because I hadn't seen her in a while, and it brought back some memories of being there and just being able to go to different stuff in different places, see some friends, some college friends, and stuff like that. But it also brought back some memories when you said Jacksonville, because I've been to Jacksonville a few times. Been to some UGA Florida games. I don't know if you know about that, but yes, absolutely. That's a big time place. They play at a neutral site. For those of you that don't know, they used to play at UGA in Florida, used to always play in Jacksonville at a neutral site. Now they've changed it. This upcoming year, they're actually going to be playing in the new Falcon Stadium in Mercedes Benz, which is a little different. But yeah, I love Jacksonville too. So next time I'm down there, I'm gonna have to say what's up to you for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what's up.
But yeah, it was really cool. I went to a few Jaguars games,
Hmm.
um, and they were doing really well last season. So it was super exciting because at first, like, I'm not from Jacksonville. I was not really like a Jaguars fan, but after following that season, I'm a fan now. I can definitely say that.
I love it. I love it. Yes, they did great last year, making it, winning their division, if I'm not mistaken, going to the playoffs and having that home playoff game against the Bills. They did really, really good. Totally awesome. Now, I want to ask you some favorite questions. These are some favorite questions that I came up with, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these
All right.
questions. So here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Favorite meal I like to cook? Maybe like a vodka pasta.
Ooh. Now, ooh, okay. Now, Marissa, when I do pull up to Jacksonville, I promise you I won't come empty-handed. I'll bring some garlic bread. If you cook some pasta now, I can bring some garlic bread. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you working, I want to work too. I don't want you the only one working. I'm just saying, pasta's my second favorite type of food. And you're probably saying, well, what's your first? My first is
Mhm.
Mexican. So if you know any good Mexican places that's around you in that Florida area, border Georgia area, I would love for you to tell me for sure. No question.
Definitely. But being from California, I think I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Mexican food because you have such great Mexican food there. So I'm a little
Oh,
bit picky with that here.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm originally from San Diego.
No,
So you
stop
have,
it. Are you serious?
yeah.
I am too.
Oh, no way. Where?
Seriously. I grew up in three different places. Normal Heights is where my mother lived, which was 4230 36th Street. And then my dad lived in North Park, if you're familiar with that, North Park. And I went to school, elementary school at Edison Elementary and then John Adams. I'm over by, and I went to high school at Kearney High School in Linda Vista, if you know that area. So Mission Valley, Fashion Valley, those malls I live by, but also live by Horton Plaza. If you remember what Horton Plaza was downtown, in the Gaslamp Quarter is what they called it, the Gaslamp Quarter. So I'm very,
Yeah.
very familiar with the streets of San Diego. 619-858. I stand up and ride for my city. No question. I got a Chargers like hoodie on right now, as you see right now. So yeah, that's so awesome that you're from San Diego. What part are you from?
Carlsbad.
Carlsbad. Yep, I know about that place.
Yes.
Yeah, I know about
Yes.
Carlsbad.
I moved from San Diego when I was a kid. So I was only like 6 or something when we left, but we go back pretty frequently.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's the also another thing. Like since I've lived many places growing up too, it's like I can't really pinpoint a specific place that I would consider like home base.
Right.
Um, but there's also like some fun and some beauty in that, I think.
Oh, no question. No question about that. And like you said, the Mexican food there is quite different from any other place. Because if you're in San Diego, Tijuana is really right. If you hop on a trolley, you can make it to Tijuana, Mexico, right there. And that's for sure. You can just hop right there and get some great authentic food. And yeah, no place like San Diego or California, in my estimation, has ever compared to the Mexican food I've tried there, for sure. Yeah, so I got you.
Oh.
Okay.
And before you ask me another question, can I ask you a question?
Sure, talk to me.
Yeah, I want to know, so like you've done sports reporting, but how did you start this podcast? Like when did you do it? What was the story behind that? Like I know you just wanted to kind of hear the background information about journalists, but
No, for sure. Absolutely. Great question. So my thought process was, we had COVID a few years ago, and I was just getting my start. Really, I was in college at the time, and I was doing college stuff. I was writing for my magazine and doing sports radio as well. But I wanted to be able to reach out to some people. So first, it was just about reaching out to people and getting advice, really, and just building just some networking tips, going to different career fairs, passing out business cards, letting them know who I am, and I'm a student at that time. But then I wanted to come up with an idea for my podcast, and that's work hard, play harder. And the reason why I came up with that name is because that's how I kind of live my life. I want to work hard, but I also like to play hard too. So I was like, now I need a premise for my show, a premise and kind of like a central idea of what I want to do when I talk to people. So at first, it was just talking to like media people and like journalists because it's likewise. I definitely want to be that. So I want to learn what different people go through. But then when I graduated college and I got my first full time job in this industry, it kind of evolved to now me learning about different communicative positions, not just with journalists, but producing, directing, being an assistant news manager, with stations, publications, also with teams, with PR firms. It just started to grow. And not only on a local level, but on a national level, like NBC or ESPN, stuff like that. So I wanted to talk to as many people. Then it kept evolving, Marissa, because I wanted to talk to not just people, journalists, but I wanted to specifically talk to women. But I also wanted to incorporate men into that mix too, because I felt like in the industry, as I got growing in this industry, you start to see that there is a little bit of a stark difference. Like you don't see a lot of women doing local events. You don't see
Yeah.
a lot of women photographers. You don't see a lot of women journalists, especially in sports. You just don't see it.
Hmm.
And I believe all of us, men and women, should be highlighted, but women should get definitely more highlighted and more talked about. And it's not talked about enough. So my thing was, let me start a podcast. Let me talk to people. It's a great way to get to know people. It's a great way to learn about people. It's a great way to learn different things and different roles that I never knew about. But also for people to look at it and from an audience perspective and say, wow, maybe I can connect with this person. Maybe I can connect with this person. Maybe I'll ask her or him a question that, Chris didn't ask and stuff like that. So I wanted to be able to build that kind of platform and have people take a look at my videos and build a podcast.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really think that's an awesome idea. Because it feels weird to me, like even just being on the other side of an interview, like having people ask you questions. So yeah, I just think it's a really cool idea. Very original.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And my thing is that you're not the only one that's ever said that. I've done over 400 episodes plus, and lucky enough, knock on wood, and people have told me that. Like, it feels so different being on the other side. And that's the main thing, right? Because we're trying to educate people not just about yourself, again, not just about what you do, but also who you are, right? The what you do part is important, but the who you are is important as well. And people want to learn and understand that this is the mindset of a journalist. This is how people think. This is how you go through day-to-day things. This is what could happen. These are the kind of thoughts that you can have on days that might not be so great, but there might be some of the best days of your life, but then days that might be some of the saddest of your life, depending on the genre, right? Because sometimes news is heavy, right? So,
Yeah.
you want to learn the A side and the B side is what I like to call it, and that's what we're going to continue to do with this conversation. But that's a great question, by the way. Great question. Um, Favorite concert you've ever attended?
My favorite concert. That's kind of tough. I think I went to quite a lot of music festivals in college in the Netherlands, but it wasn't really my favorite kind of genre. What I've realized, like now, I love going to listening rooms and seeing smaller artists. So I recently just saw someone called Wim Tapley, and he was just a small artist from, I want to say, North Carolina or Georgia. And I saw him in like a listening room venue. It was really small, but it was like an acoustic concert, and it was amazing. And so now that's kind of been my thing, like seeing small artists in small venues. I prefer that so much over, like a big stadium concert or something like that. So yeah, I would have to say that one. It was just such a unique experience because listening rooms, you don't really, like, you don't speak, you don't sing along, you just really like absorb it. So I thought just because of how unique that was, it was so cool.
I love that. You're gonna have to send me a couple of his songs because I've never
Oh
heard
yeah.
of him before, for sure. So I can definitely take a listen. I'm always intrigued by new music. I would say one of my favorite artists that I ever saw was The Weeknd. Uh,
Oh
The
yeah.
Weeknd is one of my favorites, no question about it. Got a chance to see him twice. So knock on wood, I was blessed enough to see that for sure. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
New Zealand.
Mm,
100%.
okay.
I think the people are just incredibly friendly, and I love the outdoors. Like
Yeah, me
if
too.
I'm not working, if I'm not forced to be inside, like I will be at the beach, I'll be in the grass, like so New Zealand just really really connected with me and my personality, and I just spent time camping there, mountain biking, that sort of thing. So it's just the most incredible trip ever, and every single person I met was accommodating and just so kind. They treat you like family just in the first hello. So definitely New Zealand, but I think my second best would be Croatia.
Oh wow, okay. Okay.
And that one surprised me because I didn't really know what to expect from Croatia. A lot of people really concentrate their energy on Western Europe and kind of forget about the beautiful countries in the east of Europe. So it was just so cool, and the water is like crystal clear. But yeah, both of those wildly different, but those would be like my two favorites.
I love that. I love that. Croatia and New Zealand. That's what's up. I would throw a third country in there of my favorite, which is Jamaica. Jamaica was
Oh,
definitely my favorite, no question. As you talked about being a beach person, I am certainly a water and beach person. Obviously, growing up in San Diego, they have nothing but beaches and lakes up there. So I'm a huge person that just love to sit out there in the water, love to get in the water, but I also love the food, the jerk chicken, the rice, just the
yeah.
vibes. The vibes there was just totally amazing. So shout out to Jamaica. I definitely will be going back there. I went there on a cruise with family, so I will be going back there, sure, for sure. I'm a
I
sports
gotta add
person.
that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said I gotta add that to my
Oh
list.
yeah, and I'm adding New Zealand too. I'm adding New Zealand as well on my list for sure, no doubt. I'm a sports person. So this is a
Yeah.
two-part sports question. So here we go.
Oh,
Favorite
here.
sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to attend in person. They could be the same sport.
Oh, okay. I think both soccer. I used to be a soccer player in high school, and like growing up, I always did travel soccer. So I would say yeah, am, I find it so much fun to watch on TV, which I don't find many sports that entertaining unless I'm in person.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, definitely soccer, specifically women's soccer. I love to watch women's soccer.
Okay. I'm
Um,
with you. Yeah.
And in person, though, I really think hockey is
Oh,
so much fun to watch.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, I was in Boston recently and I went to a hockey game and it was just like such a cool experience.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Now, Trinity Rodman is one of my favorite players, one of my favorite women's soccer players. I mean, my all-time favorite player is Alex Morgan, for a lot of different reasons. Definitely soccer for sure, though. And also, you said hockey. Hockey is definitely a great sport. Speaking of Boston, they are matched up. They're slated to play the Buffalo Sabres in the first round of the playoffs, of the NHL playoffs, which is crazy, right? I'm near Buffalo, and you talk about Boston, so hopefully I get a chance to go see them play. I'm crossing my
Yeah.
fingers, seeing that hopefully that will be the case for sure. I would say football and basketball for me. If I can convert
Me
you over, Marissa, to just go watching a game
Yes.
of football, that will be amazing. That's going to be my new project. I'm definitely going to try to do that. That's for sure, because it is amazing.
So football is another huge one that I love to watch in person, and this is kind of a recent development for me because obviously when I was in Europe, we didn't have
Right.
um, American football. So coming
Mhm.
back, it's kind of like I'm learning the game as I go,
Mhm.
but a lot of the people around me they love watching it. So I have slowly started to get into it, especially just attending in person though, because any sports game, I think when you're there, it can be a great time.
For sure. For sure. No question. I love it though. I love it. Last of the favorites. I'm a huge foodie. So I'm a person that loves to go out and enjoy a good restaurant. I want you to tell me, what is your favorite restaurant to eat out at?
Ooh, that's really tough. I would say there's this Mexican restaurant in Fernandina, and it's called Mezcal.
Oh,
And I've never had a bad meal from there. Everything that they make is like super fresh, and it's kind of unique. It's not like your standard Mexican restaurant. It's a little bit more upscale, I would say. So it's like a special occasion place. Um, but yeah, 100% love going there. But that's what's like fresh in my mind right now.
okay.
I'm sure if you asked me like a year ago, I would have said something completely different.
Sure.
But
Sure.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
that's
listen, I would definitely pop up to You said mezcal? Is that what it's called?
Mezcal.
Mezcal. I
Yeah.
would definitely pop up there, no question about it, because I'm a huge Mexican food lover when it comes to burritos or when it comes to tacos. And a true California person would know about carne asada fries. Do you know about carne asada fries?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, got
So
so good. Say less. I'm with you on that because there's some people that don't even know that term. It makes me so mad. I'm like, how do you not know what carne asada fries are? Like, come on now. But that's
you gotta write a story about it.
right. That's the West Coast in me though. I definitely love that. So I'm definitely gonna pull up there. And like I said, when I do pull up to close to Jacksonville again in Florida again, I would definitely have to say hello to you for sure. No question about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about your day to day process. As you know, no 2 days for a journalist is ever the same. We're always doing different stories, writing different stories, talking to different people. That's one of the things I love about being a journalist is that it's not redundant, it's not boring. No day is that, like I said, no 2 days are ever going to be the same. Talk to me about your day to day process of getting stories. How many stories that you normally write a day? What is your time frame from working? Because journalists work different hours, sometimes long hours. If you're a weekly newspaper, you probably publish maybe once a week. I'm going off of that. So tell me, what does your day to day process look like?
Yeah, so we are twice a week.
Twice a week. Okay.
So we publish on Wednesdays and Fridays. So I would say, yeah, like you said, every day is completely different. Sometimes I have a plan in mind and then I go to work and it's turns out completely different because something happens, you know?
Sure.
Um, but I love that part of it. I love just like getting up and running to something else. So yeah, I think it's just so different every day. I pretty much work between the hours of like 8 and 4, but then obviously sometimes it's nights and sometimes it's weekends.
Yeah.
Um, it just depends. And to find stories, I'm always just around the town. So we are like covering all of Nassau County, but I primarily am in Fernandina, which is like the city.
Hmm.
Um, and I just go around to different places and I meet people because a lot of them I'm like, oh, wait, that person's so interesting. That would make a great story. Or they started a new business because I love doing small businesses.
Okay.
I'm super passionate about, shopping local and supporting people in their dreams of small businesses.
I love it.
So yeah, it's really just about getting out there because I think I try really hard to not be at my desk at all because like I don't feel like I'm doing anything for myself if I'm just kind of sitting there waiting for
Right.
things to come. Like I want to be out there and finding things. And
Absolutely.
that's pretty much like a typical day for me.
No, I love that. I appreciate that breakdown. What people don't understand when you're working in like a newsroom, you have your different stations and different desks and people sitting here and they're writing stuff. But, for us reporters, when you're in the office, it's to me, you feel like that you're not getting enough stuff done. Like as a reporter, you want to be out and about, like you said, meeting the people. In sports, you want to be covering a game even if it's not a game that day, because sometimes they don't play on certain days, you want to do feature stories. So you want to be out interviewing people, talking to people, finding different stories to talk to people about. Do you do any page design or anything like that, or do you have a layout team there at your weekly newspaper?
So I have like a really talented group in the newsroom and they are really good at designing, so I haven't had to take any of that on.
Hmm.
One thing that has been new to me is that I've always had a thing for photography, but I've never thought that I would pursue that.
Right.
When I started this job, they're like, actually, you're going to take your own photos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's been a great learning process for me, and I fell in love with photography because I had a work camera. I ended up getting my own, and I kind of just bring it around in my free time. And I've kind of found like a bit of a passion there. And it's been such a great learning process because I look back at like my first photos that I've taken versus now, and I feel like there's a stark difference.
Completely different.
But I also have really great mentors that help me and guide me with that. And that's something I love also about a newsroom is that you can see everyone has really different strengths. So
Yeah.
someone could be really good at photography, whereas someone could be a really strong writer, and like that's what makes it so well rounded and great, I think. It's just everyone having different strengths.
Absolutely. It definitely helps whenever you can have a newsroom that's kind of tight knit. Because I've been into some places that it wasn't as tight knit, for sure,
Yeah.
no question about that. But I love the fact of what you said of them giving you a new task. Because I know when I graduated college in 21, and I just got my master's in 25 this last year. But when I graduated with my undergrad, I've never taken photos. I was always just a writer. I was a writer. I was a person writing on different stuff. In school, I wrote about current events, and I just didn't write about sports because I wrote for a magazine. I was writing about different events going on and different topics. But they said, hey, in my first full time job, it was like, you're covering 12 high schools and a college. We need you to take photos. I was like, oh, okay. I have no, I have no experience in taking photos at all. So like, they gave me a Nikon and a Canon, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what's going on? But you learn as you go, and then you start seeing some of the photos that you take and some of the game action photos that I was taking from the first time I took photos to now is just completely different. And you do learn that. So it took me back there when you was explaining that because I was in the same boat, really not having any experience with photography. And now I feel like I can edit photos, color photos, do different things with photos. I also had to learn how to page design too, in my publication because
Gotcha.
we did not have a layout team, which that kind of sucked. But learning a new skill is always good too. So I love that.
Absolutely. I think that's also a big part of. So I wasn't thinking when I graduated that I was necessarily going to do news. I kind of thought I'd do more magazine feature pieces,
Right.
and I wasn't necessarily thinking I would be writing breaking news stories. So that's also been like quite a learning process for me.
For sure.
Um,
For sure.
but that's also the great thing is about just learning as you go and improving, and you can always improve.
Absolutely. I love that. Now it bleeds into the next question, which is about um excuse me, work life balance and also mental health. There's a lot of
Yeah.
times in this industry where I've seen people that have had mental health breakdowns that have left this industry because of their mental health being affected. That's also left this industry because of their work life balance, right? The balance is just not there. And, it's tough. Balance looks different for everybody that's involved with it, with this industry, right? Some people can take on more than others. I want you to tell me, how do you keep your mental health strong but also still have that work life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful lady to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you. I think you'd be amazing. But you also
Yeah.
seem very passionate about your job and your industry. So, and we know it's tough sometimes with the long hours and, the days that we work. So tell me, how do you keep your mental health strong?
Yeah, I would say just a lot of times I think when people are working a full-time job, they get home and the first thing they want to do is like lay down and scroll. And for me, I have to say, no, we're not doing that. I need to, put on my workout clothes and go for a walk. I need to continue doing the things that I love and not just having my life be work, sleep, repeat.
Right.
Um, so I try to do spontaneous things on weeknights, whether that's I go out for dinner with a friend or go for a walk or just I also teach yoga.
Oh, okay.
So that's like a huge part of for me what I've found like keeping myself calm and I think it's so great. I start my mornings with that, so I just have a completely clear head. And yeah, I think it's really about finding a way to make sure that you're still doing the things that you love. And that could look so different for me each night because I love art, I love music, so I'm always just I have a billion hobbies and I make sure that I make time for them. The one thing that has been hard though is just not getting to travel as much as I am used to because all of a sudden like I can't just pick up and go
Right.
to Austria tomorrow. So I think that's something in the future that I would love to be able to find a way to still write and do what I love, but also travel. But other than that, yeah, it's really just about making sure that you make time for the things that you want to do outside of work.
Have you ever had an experience being, in this industry now for a few months and doing your thing? Have you had an experience, I should say, of burnout or being overwhelmed? And if so, how did you handle that?
For sure. I think I'm someone that like when I put 100% of myself into something, I will put 2,000%, and to the point where I'm like, okay, maybe I need to step away for a second.
Sure.
And to me, I have really great people that I work with that I feel comfortable that I can tell them when I'm feeling that way, which I know is kind of a privilege because not many people do have that environment. But yeah, I would say for me, it's really just taking a mental health day if you need it. And just, I think you can't force a good story or you can't force creativity. So if I'm in the office and I'm like, this is not working, then I will just go for a walk for a second or just take those breaks when you need it because it's really easy to just force yourself to the point of a burnout and then you can't do anything. So,
Right.
yeah, just really making sure that you have those breaks. And like I said, yoga plays a huge role in that for me because that's how I found that I can really clear my head. Meditation, yoga, any kind of that sort of wellness, holistic wellness, like that's been huge for me.
Okay. Well, when I come down there, if you're still down there teaching yoga, I'm gonna have to take one of your classes. I'm signing up for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
No question. I love that. It's a question worth asking, though, Marissa, because a lot of people, like I said, have stepped away from this industry because their mental health was affected, and it's great that you have like a clear base in your mind of what to do. Right? You know that laying down, just scrolling, is not something that you want to do. You want to kind of remain active. You want to kind of be on the go a little bit. Set up things with your friends. Because in this industry, as we know, there's no like holidays. There's no like time off unless you take time off, right? News is every day. So we work through the holidays. We work through all those days. And sometimes you do miss events with your family. Like I said, you was away from school for 5 years and now you're back with your family. But even though when family plans things on like the weekend, sometimes you may miss it. Sometimes your friends goes out and they may have something going on like a celebration or a party. You may miss that with your friends because you're out reporting. You're out doing what you love to do. I know I have. I've missed all kinds of things for sure. Sometimes I've had to travel and go to different places, and I've missed things with my family, right? So it's important that people know. Again, I talked about it earlier: A side and a B side. And the A side being that we love doing what we do. We love being pillars in our community. We love when people come up to us and say, "Oh my God, thank you for doing that story. That's an amazing story." And we love that. But we also understand that there's some sacrifices that has to come with this. And if it's not for you, it's totally fine. But you can't, like, for lack of a better term, you cannot half ass in this industry.
Yeah.
You have to be either 2 feet in or 2 feet out. Would you agree with that assessment?
Oh, absolutely. I had like the most incredible mentor professor ever at the University of Amsterdam. His name's Mark, and he was a journalist before becoming a professor. And he actually wrote a book, and it's called Well-Being in Creative
Yeah.
Careers. Um, and he really goes into that, and he kind of went into, how people do leave the industry because there's instability and
Mhm.
you feel like you're isolated and that sort of thing. It's a super interesting read, but also I interviewed him about it. And one of the most valuable things I think he said was that make sure you're networking, not necessarily for jobs, but for support. And I think that's kind of what you're doing. So, network for support and find other people that are in the same boat as you because you can lean on each other in that instability and when you're feeling like overwhelmed and really anything. And I thought that was just such a great take, and it's something that really stuck with me. But yeah, definitely I recommend his book.
Okay. Yeah, please. Listen, and definitely send me that title once we get offline here. Definitely do that for sure. Because Mark sounds like an incredible guy. No question about that. And he does have a great point. Yeah, you do want to not just network for jobs. You never just want to go to people and say, I want to network with you and just hit them up only when you want a job or when you hear about a job or something like that. Because that's not really genuine, and it's not really, to me, in my opinion, it's not really professional to do. Like, I'm somebody that when I want to network with people, I care about your well-being as well. Yes, if you hear something, that's great, but I also care about the person and who you are, how you're doing, because we all have tough days in this industry. It's we can't escape it. Like this, that's just it just happens for sure. So definitely, I do this for that particular reason alone, is to network with people, because also you never know when you're going to be in the same spot. You think that the journalism world is big, but it really isn't. We all know someone who knows someone. So it's really a connecting type of industry like that. So I love that. I love that take, and I love that answer. But again, it leads into another question, and it's a great segue here, which is advice. What is some advice that you would give someone that wants to be a journalist, just like yourself?
I would say you may think that there's one specific type of journalism you want to do, but try them all if you can. Try every single topic, and even before you get your first journalism job, just in college, start writing about things that you find interesting in your college town. Because that's kind of how I started. I was like, oh, what are things that I find cool in Amsterdam? And from there, I found like several different avenues that I loved with writing. So I would say just keep an open mind. Um, if you're really hell bent on wanting to be a sports journalist, but then maybe you find that you actually really like business writing or another thing, I think just keeping that open mind and not being discouraged when you pitch your work and people ignore you, because it happens. And it's something that I know even people that are really well established in journalism, like they get ignored by tons of people. It's just what happens, and you can't take it personally, and it shouldn't mean that you feel discouraged. You just have to keep going and shooting your shot. Even if it seems like you're talking to a wall, I think it's important to just never give up with, if you feel so confident about a story, just pitch it. You know? The worst that can happen is they say no or they ignore you, but at least you tried.
Excellent. Excellent advice. No question about that. And you've gave some great answers so far in this conversation. Definitely try everything, y'all. Definitely try everything in college. Marissa is absolutely right. You don't want to limit yourself. There's so many different jobs out here in the world of journalism. There's jobs that we still don't even know exist, but you just know that you have to keep trying different things, because you never know what you like unless you do try it. And Marissa also made a great point about discouragement. There's going to be plenty of no's that go around. You're going to get way more no's than you'll ever get yeses in any industry, but in journalism for sure, you're going to get ignored. I can't tell you about the hundreds and hundreds of applications I did just on teamwork online alone, let alone Monster and Indeed and all the other places that you go to submit your resumes or different companies and spots. You're just going to get way more no's. You just never know what people are looking for. But the thing is, all you need is one yes. Once you do get a yes, then you get to prove yourself, and then you get to prove why they made the correct choice in you. And that's what you're looking for, an opportunity. And that opportunity can bounce off into better opportunities for yourself. So that's some really good advice that I hope people do take from this conversation that we're having. We have reached the portion of the podcast now that we're going to play my interactive game, Marissa, called This or That. It is a game that I like to play with all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. And it's very simple. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right,
Yeah,
here we
let's go.
go. Let's rock. Out of these two restaurants, which one would you rather go in, sit down, and eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah, girl. Okay, you like the Cinnabons, don't you? The cinnamon buns, don't you? Mm,
Yeah, those are great.
those are very good. I'm with you on that. Okay, I'll rock with you on those. Now, here we go. Chicken wings. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor would you rather have on the wing out of these two? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Oh, lemon pepper.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Uh, it kind of depends on my mood, but I'm gonna say dry.
Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
Okay. So let me ask you, are you a dipper? Do you like to dip your dry wings into sauce or do you eat them dry?
So everyone judges me for this, but I'm not like a crazy sauce person. So I just like really don't like I just like it like plain. I will it kind of depends though on the sauce,
Mm,
on the situation
okay.
there, but I
Okay.
would say like I'm not a ranch person, which drives everyone around me crazy because they love ranch, but
I feel
not for
that.
me.
Girl, me and you are paddling in the same boat because I'm not a ranch person either. Matter of fact, I've never sincerely tried a big gulp of ranch. Like I tried a taste of it and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not with it. I don't want no ranch. Don't give me that. Now I am a person that likes to eat dry and wet wings. I'm a person that likes to eat lemon pepper and barbecue. I'm also a buffalo and garlic parmesan person as well. I also like those two flavors as well. But I'm with you on the ranch. Don't give me no damn ranch with no wings. I ain't with it. I don't need that. But girl, we vibing right now. Let's see if we can keep this thing going. So these next 5 questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. Now, I know you say you're more of a kind of an indie kind of vibe type of person, but is that your genre or do you like all genres of music?
I would say I like pretty much all genres, so that's like my primary.
Okay.
Yeah, I listen to kind of everything.
Okay, I'm with you on that. So listen, they're gonna get harder as we go. So let me start off with this one first. Which music concert would you rather go see? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, girl. We on the right path now. Now listen, that's no diss against Drake. I do like Drake's music. However, I'm going K Dot as well. Let's see if we can continue matching. Which music artist would you rather go see in concert? Beyonce or Rihanna?
I'm gonna have to say Rihanna.
Ooh,
Controversial, maybe.
I like it. I like it. I would have said Riri too though, because I would say I've seen Beyonce a few times already. I've done security for Beyonce concerts and I've seen her a couple times. So yes, I haven't seen Riri in concert. So whenever she does decide to come back out, that'd be great. So
If she does.
right, if she does, right? So I would
Yeah.
love that. Next concert. These two are going on tour together, which broke news. So as you know, which music concert would you rather go see? Usher or Chris Brown?
Usher.
I like that. I like that. That one's close. It's very close. I
Mhm.
probably would have said Usher too. I would have said Usher with like 51%, Chris Brown 49%. I mean, they're really close. And they're actually going on tour together later this year.
Oh, I didn't know
Yes, yes, they're coming out with a joint tour. So that's it's gonna be amazing. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Matt Kearney or Tame Impala?
that. Tame Impala.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tame Impala fan. No question about
Yeah.
that. Okay. You know some good music, girl. You know some good music. I'm with you on that. All right, here we go. Last of the concerts. Which concert would you rather go see? Okay. Would you rather go see Casey Musgraves or Luke Combs?
Casey Musgraves. I absolutely love her.
Okay, we agreed 5 on 5, and that last one was pretty hard because I really didn't start getting into a lot of country music until I went to college in Georgia, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to. I had no choice at that point because my friends was listening to it, and I'm like, okay, cool. So Luke Combs I do like, but Casey Musgraves that uh, not only is she a great singer, but that's just Bay, BAE. That's Bay.
I love like her personality, at least like what she shows. And when I first started playing guitar and singing, like her songs were my like very first songs that I ever really learned.
Absolutely.
Um, So that always holds like a special place in my heart. I just think she's awesome, and she has a new album coming out, so
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes, she does. I'm looking forward to listening to some of those songs. I did hear about that for sure. I got a bonus music one before I continue with this or that. Which artist would you rather go see in person, Hosier or uh, Gavin DeGraw?
Hosier.
Yeah, I would see Hosier too. I wanted to see which one you would say because Gavin DeGraw is pretty good too, but I like Hosier. Take Me to Church is just one of my favorite songs, no question about it. Okay, let's go to sports. Which sport of these two would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or baseball?
Oh, that's hard. I would say basketball.
Okay, okay.
I like going to baseball games in person, but I think on TV they can be a little slow.
Definitely slow, no question about that. And I saw the reluctantness of you answering that question on your face when I said that question. I saw that. I was like, oh, you know what? That's okay. That's all right. No problem. Now, which sport would you rather play?
Mhm.
Badminton or bowling?
So like the most random sports. Maybe bowling, I guess.
Are you a good
I'm
bowler?
I would like to think I'm a good bowler, but I would say probably not. But my only badminton experience is like high school PE, so I think bowling.
Sure. That's a lot of people. When I ask that question, they're like, I played it in gym. That's about the only time I ever
Yeah,
played badminton. And I'm like, I totally understand. It's my mother's favorite sport where back when she used to play a lot. She loved badminton. Bowling, I could bowl a little bit. Do you need the bumpers?
I I don't need them, but they certainly help.
You're right about that. You are right about that. And you know what, Marissa? There is no shame in that. All I would do is just put you in the next lane, right next to me, and get you to slide and put the bumpers up, and you can throw that ball and bump that ball and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be
Like Wii bowling, that I'm good at Wii bowling.
oh. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm pretty good myself now. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm pretty good at weed bowling myself. But okay. I like it. I like it. Do you like desserts?
Oh, yes, I absolutely do.
Okay. So I'm going to name 4 categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these categories that you would eliminate. Never eat again. Okay. So here we go. Here's the 4. First category is ice cream. The second category is grouped together. So there's pies/cakes. Okay. The third category is candy. The last category is cookies. Which one are you getting rid of?
Candy.
Girl, you on point like a period. That's what I would say. No doubt about
Yeah.
it. No doubt. I would say candy as well. Now, let me ask you, what is your favorite ice cream?
Oh, that's tough. There's so many that are so great. I love like a mint chocolate chip.
Mm.
Um, hmm. Yeah, that or like even just a plain vanilla with a ton of like different toppings, you know?
Okay. Okay. Now, I would be transparent here with you. I've never had mint chocolate chip ice cream. Never in my life.
You gotta change that.
You know what? Next time I do try it, I'll try just like a sample. Next time I go to an ice cream shop, it's been a minute since I've been to an ice cream shop, but I would definitely hit you up and let you know how that experience was of trying mint chocolate chip. My favorite ice cream though is cookies and cream. So I was totally
Oh,
with you on vanilla because get some vanilla, double stuffed Oreos, crunch them up, put them in a bowl. I'm with you on that. Okay. Do you like potato chips?
I do like potato chips.
Okay, so this is the same format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name 4 brands. You got to get rid of one of these brands. So here we go. The first brand is Doritos. The second brand is Lay's. The third brand is Pringles. The last brand is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Pringles.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Now, let me ask you. If we're walking into a grocery store together, side by side, and I say, Marissa, go to the chip aisle and buy your favorite chip to eat. What are you buying?
I just love like a classic potato chip. Like no flavor, nothing fancy, just your classic salt. Um, yeah, and like as far as brands go, I kind of just like grab whatever looks good at the time. Like I don't have like a certain brand that I love. Um, but yeah, just a classic potato chip. That's always a go-to with like a sandwich. You put it inside the sandwich.
Did I say that? Did I already say that you're absolutely amazing? Have I said that before? Because if I didn't say that, you definitely have put a smile on my face. It's hard to make me blush with this pigmentation, but trust me, I'm blushing right now because you just said the key word. The key word was putting chips inside the sandwich. Many people that I've had on this podcast find that to be disgusting, which is absolutely insane for people to say that. I was like, I grew up doing that. I grew up putting chips inside sandwiches all the time. I don't know about you growing up doing that, but I certainly did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then you take it to the beach, and it's just the
Girl,
perfect addition to a beach day.
you are speaking the gospel to me, the Matthew, Luke, and John. There's no question about it. I love it. I love it. I appreciate that. Yes, it's not disgusting at all, guys. You should really try it. It's very good. Um, you did very well on this or that. You was very decisive, no question about that. And we definitely going to see about that week bowling because I'm a monster at that too. At some point, that's what's up. This next question is called bucket
Mhm.
list. Okay. The reason why it's called bucket list is because I want you to speak this into fruition. All right. So give me a top four list of stories that you would like to do in your journalism career that you haven't done yet.
Ooh, that's so hard. I feel like there's so many. I really, really want to write travel stories. So I would love the opportunity to go to kind of countries that aren't huge in tourism, more underrepresented countries, and tell the stories of cool people there or their cuisine. So, for example, maybe in I have like a fascination with Eastern Europe. So, I would even love to go to Russia and kind of give people a different idea of what it's like there than, all of the bad stuff we see on the media.
Sure.
But yeah, going to countries like that or even Vietnam and yeah, meeting people that have a trade or cook a specific dish and just making that sort of thing mainstream in America to try to get the culture there, and just really allow people to see a different perspective on countries they may think are, I don't know, boring or irrelevant or anything. Just showing that like there's cool people and cool things everywhere.
I love that. Okay. So travel stories, that's pretty good. Give me three more things, different types of stories that you would like to do. Maybe would you want to cover something like a court case, or maybe would you want to cover something of maybe a big time sporting event like a bowl game? You know, they have bowl games down there in Jacksonville, or maybe a Super Bowl, maybe or Olympics. Olympics is coming up, or World Cup. I mean, since you like soccer, is there something in the future that you would like to do? Just throwing out different ideas.
Yes, I mean that would be incredible. I think some other things I'd love to do a little bit more of like um, journalism with culinary things.
Yeah.
So, um, kind of like a how it's made, like behind the scenes of some, like telling a specific chef story
Oh, okay.
and that sort of thing. I would love to do more music journalism. So if I could go to,
Absolutely.
one of my favorite movies, Almost Famous. If you've ever seen it,
Yes, it's a classic. No question about
yes,
that.
that's one of my favorite movies, and I've always thought that like music journalism, that's so cool. So something with that, I've tried a little bit, but yeah, meeting artists and taking pictures of their shows, that sort of thing. What else?
Yeah, give me one more. One more.
So something that I did before they let me go skydiving for a story, which was super cool.
Oh,
I
okay.
just kind of wrote about that experience. So maybe something else like along those lines, whether that's another daredevil thing. and just writing about my experience. Or, um, yeah, I feel like it's a hard question for me because there's so many things that I want to do,
Oh, for
and
sure, for sure.
I'm so open to really doing anything. Like if not too long ago, like I don't really do politics, but like the governor of Florida was speaking in our town, and I was like, yeah, I'm there. I'll go. I'll cover it because I just think it's like a cool experience, even if it's not necessarily the thing that I love to write about.
Yeah.
So yeah, really anything.
No, listen, those are four great different type of categories to do. I love when people speak about this question because you get all different kinds of like, I would like to do this, I would like to do that. Travel stories. I just got my passport last year, or I should say 2024. Sorry, before I went on the cruise. So I definitely want to travel more, and there's no question about that. So I love that. But I also love the fact that you said about culinary. Now, when you first said culinary, I gotta be honest. I thought you was taking like maybe like a food critic, like going to different restaurants and writing the reviews on on the different like foods. I thought I was thinking about, but you kind of want to
Yeah.
do a Rachel Ray kind of thing and be in the kitchen with them and kind of whip it up a little bit and cook it up and then write something on the chef who's doing that. And I don't mind that. That'd be amazing. That'd be great. I knew I threw out some ones as well, but one of the things that definitely intrigued me was your adventure mind. And the reason why that intrigues me is because I'm a huge advocate for skydiving. I love it. I think it's one of the best things I've ever did in my life. I cannot wait to go again. But I'm also a huge advocate for whitewater rafting. Whitewater rafting is one of my favorite things to do. I am not scared one bit of the cold water, of none of that. I want to be in it for sure, no question. Now the one thing I won't do is bungee jump. I ain't doing that. I'm good.
I'm not doing that either.
I'm good.
No, that's probably where I draw the line. But the skydiving thing, it was really funny because it was like a Friday morning, just a standard work day.
Yeah.
And I went and I had my coworker with me, moral support, at the bottom. And then after it was done and all, like I just went back to work, like at my desk and wrote the story. I was like, okay, it's just a standard work day.
I love it. I
So
love it. That
yeah,
is
that was
awesome.
really cool.
That is so awesome. I love that. And well, obviously, I hope you get to do something like that along those lines. Zip lining too is something that I loved. I love doing that as well. That's also been so. I like adventurous stuff too as well. Now I'll give you my four before I get into the next question, and they're all going to be sports related for sure because obviously I'm a sports journalist. But
Yes, of course.
the W not W sorry the WNBA like All Star games. One of my favorite things is to cover an All Star game. So I want to do the WNBA. I want to do MLB, NBA. I want to do all the All Star games and try to run into some celebrities, try to go to some parties, network, and be able to try to write some stories there, but also cover the games too. You just never know what you're going to see, who you're going to meet, what event you're going to go to at those games. I had a luxury of going to the Super Bowl a couple years ago in New Orleans. So I
That
did
was so
I
cool.
did cross that off my list. Yeah, that was a crazy time, and obviously, I have some off-camera stories for you. There's no question about that,
Oh,
for
sure.
for sure, no question. But I also want to go to a World Series. I'm a huge baseball advocate. Like we talked about, going to baseball in person is nothing like it, especially if you're going to the playoffs. The playoffs are much more intense. You're playing against very good teams. The World Series is such a dynamic. I was in Georgia when the Braves won in 2021. It was my final year in Atlanta. It was crazy at the Battery, which they call Truist Field now, but it was at the Battery where it was out. It was so crazy, that atmosphere, just being there as a fan, watching it win the World Series. So I love to cover one. NBA Finals is something I would love to do as well. I'm a huge basketball advocate. It's my favorite sport. I'm a Lakers fan because growing up in California, I don't know if they'll make it this year, but but still in all, I'm a huge fan of the sport, so I would love to do that. And then the Olympics. I mean, who doesn't want to go to the Olympics and cover that? I wouldn't give a damn if it was water polo. I would love to write about it. I mean, it don't matter. It don't matter what sport it is. Just to be there in Los Angeles for 2028 would just be amazing for sure. No question about that. So those are my four.
Or the World Cup.
You said what?
Or the World Cup. That's coming here.
Oh yes, for sure. No question about that. I would love to go to a World Cup event, cover that. I've had the luxury of going to some preliminary, matches, for the soccer. When I was actually in Atlanta, about a week and a half ago, I went and saw the USA. USA play at the
Awesome.
at Atlanta, Georgia, and I did that and got a chance to cover that while I was out there on vacation. So it was amazing to be able to do that. So I definitely would love to go see the women play because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Trinity Rodman. I'm a huge fan of some of the older players too, the Megan Rapinos, the Carly Lloyds, the Alex Morgans, some of those players for sure. Fan of the women's USA team. So yeah, I would love to see the World Cup matches for sure. Now I'm still I know tickets are going to be stupid crazy to get, but if
Mhm.
I ever get a chance to get lucky enough to either meet somebody or get blessed enough to have enough money to go see it, that'd be amazing to do for sure. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Yes. This next question is advice. Now, I know I asked you about advice before, but I asked you about advice you would give. What is some advice that someone has gave you, though, that you hold on dearly to?
Um, like in terms of life in general or in terms of journalism?
Both. Give it to me.
Well, I would say, like I said before, in terms of journalism, really, that professor, everything he's ever said really stuck with me. Um, and just the networking for support and really finding community. I think the main message there is really just you need to have community. And I've heard that throughout my life how important it is to have people around you. Um, and I would say that's like really become something that I've really valued because I never really had a community around me. And now, really building strong ties and having almost like putting roots down in a place,
Sure.
it's just such a great thing to just have people to a shoulder to cry on, a person to talk to, even someone that knows your coffee order, you know?
Right.
So I would say
Right.
maybe that sort of advice, I think. But yeah, just talk to as many people as you can and just try and make friends wherever you go because you can really build that community wider and wider. It doesn't have to be one town.
Absolutely. I love that. I really do. I want to do some rapid fire with you, Marissa. But before I do the rapid fire with you, I'm going to ask you this final question before we get into the rapid fire. And that is, I want you to give me a couple of stories that you've done in your career thus far that really stick out to you that you're really super proud of.
Um, oh, that's tough. So there was one I did about a 94-year-old man
Wow.
and um, about his life really like his father was like a Syrian immigrant and he was when he was young he battled various diseases and everything, but as he grew up he became a politician, he was in the military, he had this like incredible life story,
Right.
and now he's 94 and all he does all these hobbies and he's just such a fun awesome man, and I did a whole story on his life, and that story really stuck out to me because one, I could see how much it impacted him and how happy he was. Two, it was a great story. And three, like he just became someone that he became like a grandfather figure to me. And so now I still have that bond and that relationship with him
Yeah.
from that story. So that's one I really loved. Let me think. I did one. Oh, recently I did one about like a python breeder, and that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Um, so he had a bunch of various reptiles, and he told me about how he breeds them.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that one was cool. I did one about, I'm really into environmentalism and sustainability.
Okay.
So, um, I went to a wildlife sanctuary, and they were kind of struggling. So I just wanted to give them kind of that platform. And I did a story about them. I got to go meet the animals and take pictures. That one, I have so many. I could talk about this for hours. I went to this, there was these two men that were building a monkey cage for someone.
A monkey cage. Okay.
Yes, these two contractors, and they just had this special project. They were like, we're building a monkey cage for this chimpanzee. And this is in Florida. And I was like, okay. So I wrote a really cool story. It was more about like their business and how they take on odd jobs.
Sure.
But at the same time, it was also about, the monkey cage.
Sure.
And I always love there to be like I don't want to say wow factor, but like something a little bit different about when I'm doing a business story. I want it to make people think like, huh, that's really weird. Because I just think that makes for a great story.
For
That
sure.
one,
For sure.
and also wrote one recently about like a co-op garden. So there's a group of people that maintain a garden and grow food, and they donate proceeds to charity.
That's pretty awesome.
Um, yeah, so that's a great story too. It's always great when I can throw my interest in with a story too, because I did an environmental studies minor in college,
Mhm.
and it's always something I've been passionate about. I even thought about working for nonprofits, like Greenpeace or something like that if I
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's so many stories though.
I love
And
it. I really do. No, I love that. And I love the fact that you incorporated all different kinds of stories. The Python story, God bless your heart for doing that. Because ain't no way in hell you going to catch me near a steak. I'm just no way.
oh my gosh.
For
Yes, and it was hilarious because when I was with him and he was holding the python, he was like, "Oh, this one might bite me," and so he was kind of like apprehensive. And then he was like, "Do you want to hold it?" Like, not really. After you just said that.
Right. Right. Like, no, dude, I'm good.
Not really.
I
Yeah.
totally understand that. I totally understand that. That's what's up. I love that. I love that. It's awesome. I want to get to rapid fire. So the basic thing is, and I'm gonna throw some things out at you, Marissa, and you just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, it's a little different than this or that. It's the first thing that comes to your mind, and you shout it out with glee. No pun intended. Are you ready?
hmm
Here we go. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Juice or soda?
Juice.
Chicken or ribs?
Chicken.
Favorite color?
Yellow.
Favorite TV show or Netflix TV series?
Oh, that's so hard. How I Met Your Mother.
That's a good show. Favorite
hmm
card game?
There's a Dutch game. It's called Spades so it's like it translates to like Swedish bullying, and it's really fun.
Okay, you definitely gonna have to tell me about that because that is a first
Yeah.
here on the Work Hard Play Harder podcast. I've never heard of that before, for sure. Okay, favorite board game?
Maybe Sorry.
Ooh, that's my favorite game too. To be honest with you, I love it. I always like being the blue. That's just me. That's my color. So I love blue. Okay, awesome. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Like a tequila tonic.
Ooh, okay. If we talking tequila, we talking like Casamigos? Are we talking? Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
a Casamigos.
Okay. Yeah, so you like the good stuff. I see where we're going. Okay. I got you. Enough said. Okay. If there is three people that you would take with you on vacation, so it's 3 plus 1 equaling 4. Who are those three people and where would you go? Now, Marissa, before you answer, you can choose family, friends, or celebrities, or a combination of all three.
I'm gonna go for a combo. I'm gonna do my first one, my favorite author, Dolly Alderton.
Okay.
Um, she's also a journalist, but she's an author too, and she's just the funniest person ever. I think she would make a great partner on an island.
Okay.
Um, so I'm gonna say her. I'm gonna say my sister
Okay.
because she's the best, and my boyfriend. He, I feel like the three of us, we could survive on an island, and I would just be laughing the whole time.
Okay. Now, where would you go with these three wonderful people?
Um, Maybe like the Galapagos Islands.
Okay. I do not know where the hell that's at, but it sounds like a wonderful place.
Yes. Okay, I'm picturing like this island trip as being like a survivor type situation. Oh, is this like a luxury vacation?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking, like, who do I need to survive?
Right,
Um,
right. No, this is not like a send help situation with Rachel
oh,
McAdams. It's
okay,
not
this is
that.
super fun. Okay, no, then I changed my mind for the place. The place, I really want to go to Hawaii.
Okay.
Um, I'll keep the people.
Yes, please, please do. That's awesome. Now, if you had a choice to listen to three songs or three artists on repeat and never get tired of them, who would those three artists or three songs be?
So my number one artist would probably be Leon Bridges.
Oh, amazing. Great.
Um, absolutely love him. So that, maybe Casey Musgraves,
Yeah,
and who's another great one? It's always hard, like when you have to think about it on the top of your head because there's so many great ones.
sure.
Hmm. I I do love Tame Impala.
Okay, I love it. We could rock with those three. Favorite sandwich?
Favorite sandwich. Oof. So you're not in Florida, so you don't know what a pub sub is, probably.
Mm-mm. What's that?
But basically, so it's like I used to be a Jersey Mike's girl through and through, and then I moved to Florida. And Publix, the grocery store chain here, they have subs, and they're called pub subs. They're so good.
Oh,
And I
okay.
get like it kind of depends. Like I'll go for different ones, but I do just love like a classic like turkey, cheese, lettuce, tomato. If we're talking like a cold sandwich, like a sub for the beach, the one you put the chips in. And for like a hot sandwich, I love like a pesto tomato mozzarella situation.
Sure, sure.
So there's two, a hot and cold option.
Oh, for sure. I'm a meatball marinara type of guy. I don't know if that's what you like, but I'll definitely like that. And then I'm also a turkey guy over ham, so I definitely do that. And one of my favorite chips is the Ruffles sour cream and cheddar. So I like putting that into my sandwich. I like crunching it up. I like eating that. So that's one of my favorite chips for sure. So yes, girl, you got great taste. There's no question about that. Yeah. What is a sport, Marissa, that you would play that you think you would be absolutely dominant in? Really good.
Um, Maybe like field hockey.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Field hockey. Okay. Now, let's ask the opposite of that. What is the sport that you would play that you would absolutely suck in? You would not be good at all. Why do you
Horrible.
say, hold on, why basketball comes to mind first?
Because so every time I try, I'm short. You can't tell in here. I'm 5'1",
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, I am not a basketball player. I try. I'm terrible, so I'm gonna have to go with basketball.
Well, listen, I mean, I'm not super tall. But I'm only 6 feet. I'm 6 feet, so I'm
Mm.
not the tallest person around. But yes, I'm a little bit bigger than 5'1". And in basketball, I understand that's like point guard size for women, so it's very small. And I totally get it. I get it. But I can give you some pointers. I can give you some pointers of how to shoot the ball if you are willing to learn. That's all I'm saying. Just shoot. You don't have to play, but there's shooting games you can play, like horse and pig and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, those are pretty fun.
Yeah, those games are fun. Okay. If you had a choice to choose another occupation outside of being a journalist, what would that occupation be and why?
It's a great question. Um, Maybe something with environmentalism.
Hmm.
Not sure exactly what that would look like, but working for a nonprofit and doing that sort of work, giving back to the community, but also spreading awareness for climate change and things like that. Um, so I think that would be one, working in some sort of outlet with that, or that's so hard because there are a lot of things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
It would be great to be a musician.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I love it.
like I don't think that's like a, you know, a reality or anything, but I think that would be a great career if it were possible.
Okay. Now, speaking of that, I was gonna say, what is a car? Well, not what is a car, but what is a song that plays in your car that's on the radio that when you're driving to work or driving around town and you're by yourself, that you would sing to the top of your lungs that you know every word to the song. And even if somebody looked over at you while you were singing and be like, what the hell's wrong with this person? Why is she singing like that? What is that song?
Hmm. There's many of those. I'm gonna have to say Freebird.
Mm, okay.
That's a big one. I really like anything by ABBA.
Oh yeah, no question. ABBA is definitely good. I like that. I like that. Last one of the rapid fire. If they came to you today and they said, Marissa, you do a great job of journalism by storytelling, which you do. Anybody that knows you would say the same thing. I don't think I'm breaking news by saying that. But they said, hey, we want you to only cover one genre of journalism, right? Out of these three genres, which one would you choose? Politics, sports, or news?
Hmm. I'm gonna have to say news because I think that's still broad enough that you do get some of those like more fluff pieces in there, and that's where my heart is. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna have to say news.
I love it. I love it. And listen, I have loved every bit of this conversation of talking to you, learning about you and your why of why you wanted to get into journalism. You know, calling it a safe haven for you, a safe haven, I should say, for you. Calling it your getaway, calling it your safe space to be able to go and write about the things that you love to write about. Being able to come back to a community in Florida with your family that's there, and also be writing for Nassau County about different things that's going on within the community. I mean, people stopping you and saying, "Oh man, we read your story and your story is great." And also you live in life too. Wow, going away to Amsterdam for 5 years, you know, to another country and schooling where they do things just a tad bit different than the States as well. Being able to be educated not only overseas, but also being educated here, perfecting your craft. I think that's absolutely amazing. I think you're going to be doing amazing things in the future. I'm a new fan of yours, Marissa, and I just really want to thank you for allocating your time to me today, for coming on to my podcast. My final question to you is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, anything at all before we conclude?
Um, yeah, I think in the future I could definitely see myself writing a book, and kind of going into writing novels. So, yeah, that would be something, another goal of mine in the future. Once I have a more established career and just live life a little bit more. So, that's something I look forward to in the future too.
Well, that's a book I would definitely purchase, no question about that. And I'm looking forward to following your career and your future endeavors. I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday night and a wonderful rest of the week. You and I will most certainly be in touch, and I look forward to seeing you down the road.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
No problem. You take care and have a good night.
You too. Bye.